NASCAR's best are about to drive off into the great unknown. They will emerge from that subterranean tunnel to this, the quarter-mile racetrack that has been constructed over the last couple of months to host the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. The weather is perfect. Nice day to make horsepower, 59 degrees. Calm winds, bright sunshine, and it's coming over turn number 1, looking down the front straightaway. So welcome to Los Angeles. Mike Joy, Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer with you. And the very first cars to take to this track under green flag conditions. Smoke, you likened it to getting ready to swallow a box of razor blades. Why?
Well, you're going to see. I mean, these guys have the tightest, smallest track they've ever ran in the Cup Series for these guys. So, new surface. Looks like it's probably going to be slick to start with, but definitely is going to be a challenge for sure.
Right off the bat, I'm already seeing guys try to figure out where to be on this racetrack. Tony, we have rumble strips down on the bottom. You can see in the paint. Some guys are already down trying to drive through those rumble strips, seeing if they can find enough grip down there. You can see it right there with Eric Almirola. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys navigate around this track. And only 8 minutes. Not much time here for practice.
8-minute practice session. The 36-car field divided into 3 groups for practice. Kyle Busch making pace on the inside of the racetrack.
And this is crazy because nobody has any notes on this racetrack whatsoever, except for the guys that have done this on iRacing. That's the only laps they have right now.
Now we have a lot of faces in new places, and we'll get to that. And oh, by the way, the whole race car is new for 2022.
Yeah. I'm impressed that they're able to run all the way, all fours down on those rumble strips already.
It's not the only contact sport they play in this Coliseum, but it's the one we've got this weekend. Whoa.
And I don't even think this is going to be a scenario where every time you see contact, it's intentional. It's just such a small racetrack that somebody bobbles for a split second, and then, well, he was trying to get out of the way there, I think. But I think you're just going to see a lot of contact that's unintentional, that's just due to the size of the racetrack.
But I also see right there with those two, like I alluded to a little bit earlier, I see 2 cars that are handled differently. Kevin's not really turning the best in the middle of the corner. LaJoie was, but he couldn't get off the corner. No forward drive. Kevin exactly off. We've been watching Denny Hamlin. He's having a lot of trouble getting into the corner. A lot of wheel lock up on the left front. Both ends of the racetrack for about a lap and a half.
And once it starts, you really can't. It's not like you can just let off the brake and let it catch up and then get back on the brakes. You're going to run out of real estate, so you essentially have to ride it out in the corner that way. Just try to make an adjustment.
That's about all you can do is try to modulate it a little bit. But to your point, you got to stop. You got to use it, so you can't get off of it. But that's the only fix. Not a very good situation to be in. You can see he got in the back of it, but also what I heard right there was a little bit of wheel lockup. You could hear the rear tire starting to lock up right there. That's something you're going to have to be careful of. You get too much of that wheel hop, that thing will come around on you in a heartbeat. As soon as he turned that wheel, took the weight off the left front tire. That's the thing that's hard to do. You want to do the braking just like old school. Is one of the fundamental things you learn, especially on a road course or short track. Do the braking as much as you can on the straightaway. Well, guess what? These straightaways are turned. That's where the challenge comes in.
And that's what we noticed at Bowman Gray when we did the tire test for Goodyear, that when you started adding wheel input in the corner, you had to start taking brake pressure away to keep from locking that left front.
Chase Briscoe to the top of the chart.
Every session just keeps getting faster and faster and faster. That's a good thing.
We do have a little bit more tire, 18-inch wheel, but it's about 1.5 inches more tire too. So there is some compensation there, but obviously it's not enough. But I like that. I like these guys. You know, you want to be able to have to modulate that. That's what separates a driving style from another guy. Who can do that the best, especially on a short track like this. Brakes and getting into the corner, that's always been the name of the game.
You know, in the old days, we used to have a saying, apply the chrome horn. Well, those bumpers are not chromed anymore, but
still do the same. I take it right back to the line they're running. You know, being able to utilize those rumble strips, getting into the corner, shortest way around is always the fastest way around, but they can't. And when they do that line, they struggle to get off the corner. So that opens up the door for somebody to arc it behind them and get a straight run off.
And I think we can watch cars, and I think everybody at home can watch the cars too, and you can almost diagnose what their car's driving like by what their line is, how their car's entering the corner, where they're running on the racetrack. It's pretty much a telltale what their car's balance is.
So early in the session, everybody with the left sides down below the white line, and some like Justin Haley even exiting the corner below the white line.
Yeah, I think that all comes to, again, kind of like Tony said, how's your car handling? You know, if you're able to arc the corner getting in and you can get off the brakes and the thing goes left and turns well, you can get low off the corner and give a straighter drive up off. If you can't, kind of let that thing have some real estate, let it have its head a little bit, if you will, in the middle of the corner and get the straight drive off. It all comes down to being able to put the throttle down up off the corner. If you can't do that, you're going to get past.
Chase Elliott was right against the bumper of Ryan Blaney, getting back to the throttle at both ends of the racetrack here, but look at the drive off Blaney gets. He pulls away.
It's fun. At the beginning of every one of these sessions, these guys are cheating that white line on the bottom and splitting it with the left sides below it. And then it seems like the longer the session gets, then they finally get the confidence and security to move that car back out.
You heard us talk about it, and I was listening to Tony talk about this. The 9 car, he can just carry better momentum. He can come off the brakes, let the car work a little bit better for him, where you see Blaney, he's running a good lap time, but he's working way harder than Chase Elliott is in his 9 car.
Blaney hooks the bottom in 1 and 2.
That turned really well right there.
But you could also, and see how loose he got up off the corner because of that. But I take it all the way back to watching how much that front end was turned in the center of the corner. He had a lot of wheel in it, and that's where when he unwrapped it up off the corner, it broke that left rear wheels.
And that's what we've been talking about figuring out the drivers that can tie that whole corner together. A nice smooth entry to center, and then that also gives them the opportunity to have a nice smooth exit with it.
So Elliott and Blaney with a pretty good gap, more than a tenth on Ricky Stenhouse.